Moving into military scandal. Military scandal. I've been talking a lot about, there's been a lot of people. In 2018, I think going into 2019, I did a New Year's Eve double header, an hour-long episode, well, 2 half-an-hour episodes, on what was going on with Mark Norman, because I had no idea. I had to understand it. And that's what I did on New Year's Eve, because I'm crazy. And that's fine. But it started with Norman, went to Vance, then Fortin, Guy, Bernard, Kendrisi, and Rouleau. And the most recent one, Rouleau, remember how I was saying these guys want to be seen? Like, hi guys, we're going golfing. Like, big splash newspaper articles, right? They're going golfing with Vance. They're in charge of investigating Vance. They were like, hey everybody. I said, there's something else here. Like, they want to be seen. I wonder why. Is this a purge? Is this a purge? Does anyone else sense there's a military purge underway in Canada? I don't know, right? But that list of people, very interesting. Fortin's fighting back, right? Beware military scandals being used as excuse to purge the Canadian Armed Forces of anyone not woke enough. Is this a cultural purge? Is this a cultural removal of anybody who's not playing by the rules as defined by Trudeau's post-national ideology, I guess? Here's Spencer Fernando. He says, beware military scandals being used as excuse to purge the Canadian Armed Forces of anyone not woke enough. Canada's military is now an absolute shambles. It was already totally underfunded and unable to recruit in adequate numbers or procure adequate equipment. But now, every day seems to bring a new scandal that casts the Canadian Armed Forces leadership into further ill repute. Most recently, Lieutenant General Mike Rouleau, the second in command of the CAF, resigned as he went on health leave after it was revealed he went golfing with Jonathan Vance, who is under current military investigation. The problem? Rouleau is or was the authority in charge of the military police who are investigating Vance. Whoops. I don't think whoops. It was really public. Super public. As a result of this incident, I'm stepping aside immediately and as VCDS, and will transition to the CAF transition group, said Rouleau. I'm actively aware of the tumultuous times we are navigating together. Like all of you, I've been working hard to deliver on our commitments and to inform our way forward. I'm a huge advocate for change, he added. Such an advocate, he'll get right out of the way. Fortin fight. In another ongoing scandal for the military, Major General Danny Fortin, who left his role as head of Canada's vaccine rollout amid an investigation of alleged sexual misconduct, is pushing back in court. Quote, Fortin learned that Saijan and Health Minister Patty Haydu wanted to remove him from his position on May 13th from Stewart, according to the filing. Later that evening, it says told him that the political calculus had changed, but that no one would tell Fortin whether the investigation had wrapped up. PCO had said that he would have to be removed, the court filing states, referring to the Privy Council office, which is the bureaucratic department supporting the Prime Minister's office. On April 19th, the court filing says military police told Fortin the name of the complainant and that the allegation was alleged to have occurred more than 30 years ago, the court filing states. Fortin was given a choice of 2 statements. May 14th, the court filings add. Ultimately, he chose a statement in which it appeared that he had decided to step down and resign his assigned military duty at PHAC, according to the document. However, Fortin claims he was actually terminated and that he was denied procedural fairness. He also alleges the decision came as a result of improper political interference in the military chain of command and that EAR had not actually made the decision to remove him. Strangely, it appears Patty Haydu was involved. Quote, Trudeau, Saijan, Haydu, and the top bureaucrat at the Privy Council office circumvented EAR's authority to decide what to do with Fortin, the court document alleges, then effectively prevented EAR from reassigning Fortin somewhere else. Why would the completely incompetent Patty Haydu be involved in military matters? What's really going on here? Amid all these scandals, I've previously said Canada needs to clean house in the armed forces. However, giving this more thought, there are some disturbing questions about what is actually taking place and the motives of those in power. Consider that many of these scandals appear to be ongoing issues that date back years. Further, leaders and officials across political spectrum, including both Liberal and Conservative governments, almost certainly knew all about it. Yet all these scandals are hitting all at once. Note, I'm not saying that these scandals are made up, nor am I saying that those who violated the rules shouldn't face consequences. But why now? Why at the same time? Why would a 30-plus-year-old allegation somehow become fodder for incompetent politicians like Haydu to interfere and change personnel? Who benefits from this? Weakening the West. Around the Western world, we're seeing a clear trend of every institution being subsumed by far-left thinkers, including critical race theory and woke ideology that is obsessively focused on demonizing the history of the Western world, taking over Western institutions, demoralizing citizens, and doing away with objective standards of performance or any sense of the national interest. Militaries are often seen as the last bastion of old-fashioned patriotism, national pride, and a results-oriented outlook. So if even Western militaries can be co-opted, this far-left ideology will have little to no resistance from within government. Even in the United States, political correctness is rising in the military, along with reports that internal cohesion is weakening because of divisive critical race theory. Weakening the military. If you wanted to hollow out the military and have a pretext to replace current leadership with those who will do the bidding of a more politically correct ideology, the total discrediting of the CAF leadership, an atmosphere of endless scandal, and large-scale replacement of the top ranks with more ideological individuals would be exactly how to do it. Further, this also destroys the reputation of the CAF itself, making recruiting even more difficult. A weaker military is in the interests of those who want Canada to be weak, and since the military provides good, well-paying jobs, mostly to young men, those who see any male-dominated industry as toxic will be pleased by these damaging developments. Consider this. These kinds of scandals are almost certainly far more prevalent in the House of Commons than in the military. So why isn't Parliament facing endless scandals and investigations and a total discrediting? Also, there's a lot of spending scandals currently in the House of Commons. There's scandal after scandal in the House of Commons, but those aren't publicized. People are being removed in the military for ancient scandals, right? Okay. So I agree with that argument, but I don't know, scandals, these kind of scandals are almost certainly more prevalent in the House of Commons. I don't know how you can qualify that statement. I don't know how you can make that statement. Like, the military and the House of Commons are very different institutions, so I don't know that you can just kind of say that without some kind of whatever. But there are scandals in the House of Commons that aren't being covered at all. Free speech scandals, removal of basic charter rights scandals, all sorts of scandals that aren't being covered. So I agree there. Fernando says, that wouldn't serve the interests of those who are trying to co-opt every institution. Since Parliament is already co-opted, they don't need to create the scandals and remove people. They've already got the people they need there. That's what he says, right? That's what he's saying. Here's one more cultural attack just to bring it home a little bit. The mayor of Kingston urged council to move the statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, to a cemetery, as it would show Kingston that Kingston is firmly committed to displaying Sir John A. Macdonald in a different location, in a different context. What a jerk. I mean, he didn't go and like do the necessary work to hammer together a country, right? Like, he didn't do that. John A. Macdonald did that. He didn't do that. What a jerk. Like, where's his statue? Hey? Where's your statue, Mr. Mayor? Right? You're going to put it up? You're going to put one up where John A. stood instead? No, put up a communist fist. Ridiculous. Anyway. Because they would, right? These people put up one for Lenin, right? Like, these people are so woke it hurts. It's unbelievable.